Hello, welcome back to another segment in excerpts from a spiritual ascension. So I just did a video about how to recognize endings, and I now wanted to do a video about um, how my journey started. Everyone's journey is going to be different, but I just wanted to give you kind of a basis of how my journey started. So knowing that I am a intuitive, a psychic, back in 2017, I've always had these gifts, but I didn't recognize them within myself. And through another psychic medium, my father in spirit came through and gave me all these instructions. And one of the instructions was that you need to kind of go back to school for your psychic abilities in order to kind of tweak them and to also not only to enhance my intuition, which is going to be important on your journey, um, but also that he told me that I would be leaving my job. And I had worked on Wall Street for almost 20 years at that point, and I was kind of blown away, like, how am I going to leave my job? I need my job, so forth and so on. Just thought that was totally impossible. So that was 2017. I did attend a wonderful school. I need to put the link in for her, um, if I remember description. The School of Psychic Studies, it's called, with Lynn Hunter. Um, then in 2019, the opportunity came for me to leave, to take an early retirement. And I was like, oh, wow, this is the opportunity. This is what they were talking about. My father was talking about. And so I took the opportunity and I thought I was just going to now start my own business doing readings. I also was pursuing yoga at that time. And right after I stopped working, I took my yoga certification and thought I can also open a yoga studio. So if you know, 2019 went into 2020, and what happened in 2020, everything kind of fell apart. And it was, for me, divine timing because now I was kind of stuck and was not able to pursue the things I wanted to pursue as far as this business. And also, things just kind of fell apart. I decided to go and stay with family, and things kind of dwindled down for me. And um, thought I would be back, go return back to my home area within 6 months or so, and that did not happen. And I didn't understand what was happening. And like I say, my journey was exactly 5 years. So from the time that that started, I went to go stay with family that month. It's exactly 5 years now that I've ended my journey. And I can tell there's a big change, a big difference in knowing that it's ended. I'll talk about that in a different video. But it was kind of like, I think I talked in another video about spiritual paralysis. So similar to sleep paralysis, where your mind may be awake and your eyes may be open, but your body can't move. Um, it was a spiritual paralysis where I was not able to not move my body, but I was being kind of held by spirit in this one place. And know that when you are directed on your path, the universe is going to keep you on that path. If you try to deviate from your path because you are one of the ones that has been chosen to do this ascension work first, so that others will follow behind you, um, you need to stay on that path. Okay. My journey took 5 years. Okay. So I'm here now to help others that are going to go through this, are going through this. And your journey may be shorter, it may be longer. It all depends on, what you signed up for, I guess. Um, the first 2.5 years were my breaking free. I don't know if that's the right way to say that. Coming to understand that the blood family that I had grown up in was no longer going to be my family. And there's a reason for that. Okay. I talk about having two lives within like one lifetime, and you are ending that life. Okay. Um, so all the soul contracts that you've had with your blood family are now, I can't say for everyone. This may not happen for everyone. Everyone's circumstances are different. I'm just telling you from what happened to me and what may probably end up happening to you. Okay, since you are on this path, that there has to be a severing of that. Okay, because again, going into this um, second life, you can't bring anything with you from your first life. Okay, so you're giving up that soul family and you will eventually receive a new soul family. Okay, I know it's a lot. You'll get it after a while, which was very difficult. And that's why that first 2.5 years took a long time for me to emotionally adjust to the giving up of my family. And I talk about in another video about people ganging up on you. And that's kind of what happened. And understanding that I could no longer, this had been going on kind of for years, but understanding that I could no longer put up with that. And, I'm kind of too old to have other people telling me what I need to do and how I need to serve God and things like that. And that I needed to, couldn't understand why I had quit my, Wall Street job. And it was all about, people think about making money and don't understand, them not understanding that whatever is taken from you, you're going to get tenfold later on. Okay. Um, so that was the longest period of time, that first 2.5 years of this big adjustment, because two, many of my family members were karmic partners who I needed to um, end karmic patterns with. Okay. So they will no longer be in any of my next lives because there had to be a severing of ties, a severing of soul contracts with my blood family, and which was my soul family then. Um, and it was hard. It was difficult. It was emotionally painful. But also, when I look back now at how much stress my family had put me through, um, the pain that I had endured in a lot of situations, that also kind of I was looked at, because of the work that I was also looked at as kind of a bank too. So when someone looks at you in that way and you no longer have that, they're of no use to you, or you are no longer use to them. So that was the hardest thing to accept too, that people were using me for only what I could give to them. And that's kind of how the end of the beginning of the end, the beginning of the end of the end started for myself. Those first 2.5 years was really just going through removing a lot of the old relationships. My best friend of over 20 years, I kind of started to see who she really was as a person and had to cut ties with her. And just knowing that I was changing and that the relationship just no longer served um, what I needed in my life, which was very hard, very hard. We were, like you say, thick as thieves. We did everything together, went places, we were always seen together. And that was really hard to give that relationship up. But I look back now and I see that it was never really probably the best relationship for me, because of some of the things that went on. But I think you'll start to observe some of the things that are now surrounding you. And if you've already been prompted to kind of give up some of these things, you'll understand later on why. Okay. So I'm going to leave it there. And that was kind of the beginning of my journey. And if you have any questions for me, there's a link below to book time with me. Also, I've done courses on spiritual ascension process, and the links for that are below too. Okay, so I'll see you next time.